The future of Jadon Sancho. Mark on last week said 90% likely he will be a Manchester United player. Jan, do you agree?
Yes, I agree. Because last summer he was linked to a lot of English clubs, and he was told that this season, do a good season for us. And wow, he has made a great season for Dortmund. And they are negotiating with him at the moment. There is no concrete offer on the table. But I think that he's most likely to leave before the deadline. And a lot of people talking about this deadline of 10th of August, because this is going to be the biggest transfer window of the history. But that's because Dortmund are going into the training camp and they want their squad together for that time. And Sancho could be out the next week.
Mark, can we just get this done tomorrow and then we don't have to faff around and go through all the normal things that we seem to go through with United?
Well, if this was Man City, Chelsea or Liverpool, it would have been done without a fuss. But obviously, every time there's a Man United transfer saga, it runs on and on. We've had Bruno Fernandes went on for too long, Harry Maguire went on for too long. And United seem to start these negotiations with a low fee that they want to pay, haggle for about 3 or 4 weeks and then pay what the asking price was in the first place. So I think that's what will happen on this one. I think that 10th of August, to me, does seem a little bit soon for the way that Man United operate. And it's a serious point that, you know, within the game, people look at Man United and regard them as being, I wouldn't say dysfunctional when it comes to getting transfers done, but they do take the time and they have a unique way of doing business, and it does take time, and you know, it will drag on. I'd be very surprised if it's done by the 10th of August. I hope it is, but I'd be very surprised.
Craig, I believe United got 66 points this season, matching their points total from the season before. How many more points will Jadon Sancho bring to the table?
That's the same question you asked me last week.
Well, I ask a lot of the same questions every week. This is what I do. What do you want me to ask you? How do you feel about the political situation in Europe?
Well, I had to have a chuckle when you said I feel we're going to be talking a lot about Jadon Sancho in the coming weeks and months. Jesus, we haven't stopped talking about him in the last 3 or 4 months. Almost on a 2 or 3 times a week. You know, Jadon Sancho, what difference is it going to make to Man United and all this sort of stuff? Will he leave Dortmund? Look, at the end of the day, if all parties are happy, and I mean by that, Dortmund get the money that they're after, the player gets his move, Solskjaer gets his man, then you know, Jadon Sancho is going to give himself a great platform to go and showcase his talents at one of, not that Dortmund are not a huge club, they are, but United are a juggernaut around the world, just not in terms of the playing style at the moment, but they are a juggernaut in terms of their size. And he's going to improve them, and he's going to improve the squad. And, you know, it's probably going to mean that Mason Greenwood's going to miss out, or Marcus Rashford can have a rest, or Martial can have a rest, and Rashford can go through the middle. So it's about being able to rotate quality individuals in the final third. But I don't know what the budget is at United, Dan. A bit like Chelsea. For me, they're still top-heavy in terms of buying players in the forward position. I know Chelsea are doing the same. And I think there are 2 or 3 clubs, and United are one of them, that should be looking at the other end as well.
Well, that's where I was going to go with the next question, Mark, in the sense that if they get Sancho done, who else is on the radar? Do they still have funds to bring in people to add to the defence in the squad?
Well, we've been told for a while now that United will spend, but they won't be spending 100, 150 million pounds. It'll be a sensible transfer window. They get the big target done in Sancho, but yeah, they need defenders. I mean, the defensive record last year was better than it was, but they still haven't got a convincing centre-half. Now, you know, Chris Smalling's coming back this week from his loan spell at Roma, and Smalling's had a fantastic year in Serie A. For me, they should keep Smalling. They've got a ready-made upgrade on Lindelof, Jones, Bailly, Tuanzebe. He's had a great year in Roma, and he's kind of become a bit of a leader, and I think that the time he spent in Serie A has made him a better defender. So United could save themselves a lot of money and a lot of trouble by giving Smalling another chance. He only signed a contract 18 months ago, so he's not like he's heading out the door. But yeah, they need another midfielder, another defender. But like I say, if they want to be prudent, it makes sense to bring Smalling back.
If you're looking to reinforce this Manchester United side, where do you start?
Well, they start with getting some people in that excite me. I just spoke to some people the other day, and they asked me the time when I was over there, what was the big difference between that team and the United team there is now? And I mean, then they had people that excite you. You wanted to see Manchester United play football. You wanted to see people take people on. And I think that is the main thing now with Sancho. A club like Manchester United need that kind of player, a player that gets the ball and people thinking, wow, something will go on now. They have now managed to get their own play. At the beginning of Solskjaer regime, they kind of react to other teams. Now they start acting, and to be fair to them, they got the third position. But I think there's a good start to make a statement now that we are a big club. Listen, the hottest property, the most expensive player in this transfer window, he went to Old Trafford. And I think that is a first sign. And I agree with the other boys. They need a defender, but there is a lot of clubs. What about Chelsea? Manchester City, they need great centre halves.
And this
well, they do need. Yeah. Sorry, Dan. They do need. I mean, all these clubs are chasing centre halves. It's like the centre half, the quality centre half is fashionable now because they're all chasing that player. There's several clubs looking for good defenders. But I do think, and you're right, Jan, United in general terms have always had the players to excite, whether it be the Giggs of the world or the Cantonas or players of that kind of ilk. But they've always had steel in the middle of the park and leadership. And I don't think they have that. I mean, Pogba, as talented as he is not a leader. Fernandes is a playmaker. McTominay is a young man who signed a new contract, but he's got a long way to go. Fred had a better season, but I don't think his leadership quality. And Nemanja Matic, he can maybe do it for, 25, 30 games, but the legs are going to start to buckle. So I do think that is a position, if they're looking to improve and they're looking to peg back Man City and Liverpool, and ultimately that's what they're trying to do, I think they're lacking a bit of steel and leadership in the middle of the park.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.